Hey everyone, this is Mr. Everything, and today I wanted to give you a glimpse or an overview of my Xbox One X game collection. This type is much different, and I did this with my PS4 collection, which is much smaller, so this is going to be a long video, so hopefully you like me rambling about nonsense for like 20 minutes. But it's so much different now. I did my last video in 2015 on my Xbox One collection, and it's so hard to believe that 4 years has already passed and these consoles are probably like by 2020, I'm sure the new ones will be out. That's when they've been announced. So we're really at the tail end already. And back in 2015, I did a much more traditional thing where I showed all my physical games, and that was fun, show off the artwork and talk about them. Unfortunately, now most of my games are digital. I probably only got maybe 10 more copies of disc games since then. Most of my games I get mostly because of games with gold, and Xbox Live does have some really good deals whenever you with the gold membership, when you can get them on sale for sometimes less than what a physical copy would cost. So as you can see here, so it's kind of like a what's on my iPhone thing, because it would just be too fragmented to show some of the games copies and then just talk about the digital. So now that I got that spiel out of the way, I'll show just these ready to install. That was a early games with gold game. Assassin's Creed 2 was a games with gold, but I have the Ezio collection, so I would rather have that edition. That was a beta. I downloaded that just to try Infinite Warfare when they had the trial. Then I didn't like it at all, so I never even bothered touching that game. That's games with gold. I don't really like Crackdown. It just, especially that one, I think I played it and didn't like it, so I uninstalled it when I needed space. That games with gold, all these are games with gold. I'm not sure if that was a free game with gold or what. That was a demo. Just wanted to try it because I had 2K14, which is probably my favorite 2K basketball game of this generation. That was a demo. And this is one that I really want to talk about. I only played, I think it was Fable 3, and I enjoyed that game. I'm not into the lore of the game. I don't know anything about it, but I liked that game for the few days that I played it. I tried this. It was really cool. The graphics were great. I'm not a big fan of co-op games. They're just not as immersive. They're not as linear. But it's too bad that it got canceled. I think that's a Game Pass game that popped up. That's an original launch game I never play. And then that just came when I bought the regular PUBG that is like something that installed itself. And then Warframe was a game that when I first got the Xbox, there weren't that many games, and I had it because it was a free to play. But now it seems like it's grown so much. I would get updates that were like 60 gig updates, so I just uninstalled it. And I did try The Division. That was alright, but so that's enough of that. I have a lot of Assassin's Creed games, and over the years, they've become one of my favorite franchises. This was a disc game I had for the 360, and I beat it on the 360, but I just imported it here in case I'd ever want to play it again. These three were all games with gold that I've never played. I'm not sure if I will, but I just decided to have them on here. 3 is an Assassin's Creed that I've never played, and there is the remastered version. Rogue is one that I really like, Black Flag, and this is the continuation, so I would like to get that in the remaster. I'm waiting for it to be on sale again, but I do have that version. Syndicate, I didn't play too much, so I kind of wasn't into the series at that point, but I do have it. The Ezio Collection 2 is probably one of my favorite, along with 4, and there's also Revelation and Brotherhood. I haven't touched those ones, but I had those for the 360, so it's nice to have them all in the slightly better version on the Xbox One. Unity is a game that had a lot of bugs, but I got it really cheap, and I did like it. I really got into the story, but I haven't touched it too much since. This was a games with gold, and I have the current gen version, but I just downloaded that in case I'd ever want to replay it, which seems unlikely. Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2 are both PS3 games that I had, and they were games with gold. So if I ever want to revisit them, there's probably not much of an online community, but they are there. Battlefield 1 was definitely a fun game at the time when I got it, and I don't really see too much incentive to get Battlefield 5. Obviously, it has the triggering effect, and then it has the microtransactions, and it's kind of not that much different than Battlefield 1, so I wish more people played this still. Bioshock, you have another games with gold. That's what so much of my collection has become, are just these games with gold, which is why I have a crazy amount of games. And it really makes the gold membership worth it. I've played this since it came out on the 360. I haven't gotten all that far into it, but it's definitely a fun game, probably the best Bioshock, much different than the older ones. Bully, that was on sale a few years ago. I had the PS2 version, and they haven't made one since, but it's on here if I ever want to play it. Burnout, that's a backwards compatible game. That was games with gold I haven't played. Black Ops 3, there's not too much to say about it. It's not the greatest. Better than 4, not as good as the first two, and it was probably the best out of Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare, but that's not saying much. 2 is one of my first 360 games, so I have the disc copy, and it's on here. It's easy to get the 1,000, or I don't know if it was all the gamer score. You could get most of it just by playing the campaign on Hardened. So someday I need to finish that. I did it before, but Advanced Warfare had really good graphics and a pretty good story, but that wasn't one of my favorites. Now, Black Ops is one of my favorite Call of Duties. I put a lot of time into it on the PS3, so it's nice to be able to play it on the PS or the Xbox One with the Elite controller, and I guess probably a little bit better than it was on the original hardware. Modern Warfare 3 is probably the worst out of the 3 Modern Warfares, but it's still, I might try it, see if there's anyone online someday. That was a free game that I've never played. Same with this one. Can't say anything about them. Black Ops 2, probably my favorite Call of Duty. It seems like with the 3-year cycle now, it's too long between game or developers or the teams. It would have been nice if Black Ops 2 would have remastered what it came out, but we'd have to wait now until the cycle comes back to Treyarch, so it'd be too far into the next generation, so I don't see that at least we got this one backwards compatible. Crazy Taxi's a popular game, but I've never played it. The Crew, I put in a little bit of time. It was kind of a unique game, more of an arcade. Crimson Dragon, never played. D4, I played this game for a few hours, like straight. When I first got it, I was really into it. But again, when you have so many games, it's hard to stick with one. Games with gold that I never played. Dead Rising 3 was a game I bought a few years ago, really cheap, the launch title, and I really liked it. It's a little clunky, but I did enjoy it, and I should go back someday and finish it. Destiny I've had for a while. I only had just the base copy, which doesn't let you do too much, and then you have to buy the season pass, which when it was on sale like a year later, it might have been like $20 or $30 at the time. Great mechanics, great graphics, no story really, and you kind of have to either be really into the game or have friends or be good enough that you can play online co-op to really get the most out of it. So I kind of just pick it up and play it by myself or play just online multiplayer. Games with gold, never played it. This goes for both. I don't even know that I downloaded these. A demo, I wanted to try that out, but now I have so many games built up, I'll probably never get to it. Fable 3 was the Fable that I played, that I enjoyed. Far Cry 3, that was a great game at the time. A little repetitive, but I really did enjoy that one. Far Cry 2, from what I read on the internet and in comments, people said it was one of the better and more traditional Far Cry, so I assume the series has gone away from that. Far Cry 5 I mostly bought because it was 4K and it was a modern game, so I thought it would be the best looking type of game you could play on the Xbox One X. Wasn't what I expected. It kind of was started out like I thought it was going to be this really epic story, but the story is kind of thin. But the more you play it, there is a little bit more to it. And even though the missions seem repetitive, as I played it, I ended up enjoying it quite a bit more. Far Cry 4, I haven't played too much, but it had really good graphics. And I think story-wise, it had way more to it than 5. That was just a FIFA demo. I kind of like to have one of every sports game just when I feel like playing a sports game, but I know nothing about soccer or football, whatever you want to call it. So I just put a few demos to try. Forza Horizon 2. A few years ago when I was really into the sim racing, I had I still have the Thrustmaster and the play seat and the pedals and the shifter. So I just bought all the Forza games that were out at the time, which this came with the Fast and Furious 2. That's the demo if I ever hook up my stuff and try that out. Forza 5 is a game I have many, many hours in. Back when the console first came out and there weren't that many games, this one was beautiful looking and I just put so much time into it. 6 I bought, it was much better than 5, way more tracks, more of a refined game, but I didn't play it that much because I put so much time into 5. I was kind of tired of it by 6. 7 I just downloaded a few weeks ago when it was on sale. The Forza games aren't usually discounted that much, and the physical copies, maybe it's not that common of a game to find, so it was probably the best deal. So I got it just for the 4K, to play a Forza in 4K to have it. Gears 3, I have Gears 1 and 2, played them way back in the day, beat both of them. I never played any of the newer ones, so when these were backwards compatible, and I think they were also games with gold, I downloaded this one in Judgment. And Gears 4, I picked it up. It seems like a lot of first-party titles, same goes with Sony, are always very cheap. After just a year or two, I guess the Microsoft and Sony just don't see any value in them, so they sell them really cheap or something. So I picked it up, and it's a 4K game if I want to play it. Talked about Judgment. And then I recently got Game Pass memberships. I don't think I'll keep it, but while I have it, I decided to pick up a few games. And just to play through Gears 1, it's obviously much better looking, and get the achievements to play it through again. That's probably actually a good thing that I'm doing this format where I'm just showing the games on screen on my console rather than me showing the few box copies I have, because I would just be a worn out of breath mess right now on camera. And I still have a lot to go through here. The Golf Club was the games with gold. I always liked having a golf game. There was one I had for GameCube, Tiger Woods, maybe 3, 4, 5, 03, or one of those. It was fun. I remember getting Tiger Woods 06 for the 360 because it was like a $2 discounted game because it was a couple years old. And I love that game. And to this day, I wish I would have kept it because it's just one of the few golf games. It seems like to this day people still say it was really good. And you can still get it cheap, but I really don't want to hook up my 360 to play one golf game. So I got this one. It's not as fun as Tiger Woods, and it's a little bit harder. I had Rory McIlroy, but I didn't like that there wasn't I don't think there was a putting line, or there wasn't some assist or something that made putting too hard. So I got rid of it. But this game doesn't really have a putt. There's you can use a couple shots to line it up. But this one I got kind of good at it. Grand Theft Auto 4 was big in its day. I have the collector's edition that came with the DLC, and then when they made it backwards compatible, I got to put it on here. I never beat it, and graphically it kind of looked horrible because it was the bump up to the 360, but it didn't really look that much better. But it's here if I ever want to finish it. Guacamelei's games with gold. I played a good bit the day I downloaded it, but there's really nothing to go back for. Halo Reach, I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, that's not a Master Chief Collection, that's ODST that was added. So this is a separate one. I always wanted this game, I never played it. Spartan Assault was, I think, the only Halo game for the Xbox One, when I first got it, so I played it, but it wasn't very good. The Master Chief Collection, Obviously, it's worth it for the campaigns alone, but the multiplayer is like the way it's all playlist instead of just going into each game. I know fragmenting the game into that many different years, it probably wouldn't be that many people in each lobby. So I kind of get why they made the multiplayer the way they did, but I don't really play it that much. But it's worth it just to have the remastered 2, and I think the remastered original Halo, and then 4 was already pretty good looking. And I'm not sure if they did any modifications to 3. I'm not sure if I bought this game or it was the Games with Gold. I had it. It was an arcade title on the 360 when I first got the 360, and I played this game like crazy. You wouldn't think it'd be any good, but it was actually really addicting. So I wanted it on here. I never played Hitman. I think that was the Games with Gold. Games with Gold. Games with Gold. Games with Gold. LA Noire. I picked it up because most Rockstar games are good. I like the time setting. You know, I like games or stuff about 1900s America, and it's just a neat. Instead of everything being futuristic, going back and making a modern game about a previous times, kind of appealing to me. But I didn't really like the game that much. You have to really be smart to play. Like, you have to really pay attention, which is good. They made it that like almost simulation like. But at the same time, you can easily like lose or have to restart if you don't pay attention, which kind of takes some of the fun out of it. Those are Games with Gold. Lost Odyssey is a neat one. It's one that I remember the commercial when it came out all those years ago. I thought it was really cool. I think it's a JRPG. I know nothing about games like this. I just remember like the cover looked cool, and that was a Games with Gold. It's a huge game. I think it's like 20 gigs for like probably like a 2006 game, so I'm not sure if it's a higher quality enhanced for the One X or if it's just that was on that many discs back when it came out. Madden 15, that was the Madden I had at the time. It was okay. Madden 17, I bought that and never really played it too much because I kind of got sick of Madden, and that's why you'll notice there aren't any more Maddens, because I don't plan on buying anymore, because I'm so sick of it now after all these years. I know that we're getting conned, so I don't buy Madden. Magic, I was never really into the game. We were always into Yu-Gi-Oh when I was young, but I downloaded it just if I'd ever play it. One of my favorite games, Mass Effect. Beat it, but it's backwards compatible, so I put it on here. 2, I played about halfway through it, so someday I have to go back. And then to play 3, I won't play 3 until I finish 2. And then Andromeda, since it's a completely separate game, I bought it like not too long after it came out and was already discounted because I guess there was all the glitches. And I spent most of the time making my character and then hardly played it. But now that I have the One X, I should probably revisit. Games with Gold, Games with Gold, Games with Gold. That was the Games with Gold. I have the full Metal Gear Solid 5 on PS4. It was a free game on that service. This is the Ground Zeroes, which was like a demo or a prologue. And it's funny because I remember playing this and it was so hard and it took me forever to extract the person out without getting caught or killed. And then when I played the full game, it was like so much easier. And I'm not sure why that is, but I couldn't believe how hard this was compared to the full game. And then I got these very cheap a few years ago, so they're here. I think that was the Games with Gold. This was the first basketball game. I had 17 and I sold it. 19 I just picked up because it was $3. I had the retail copy, but I didn't like it, so I sold it and only bought the digital because it was $3. NBA Live's cheap every year, so I get it when it goes on sale. I'm not as big of a fan of 19 because it's basically the same as 18, but I do like the one mode on 19, so I play it for that. I think they're going to be better than NBA 2K because NBA Live has more to prove, to where 2K has kind of been known to be the best, but now I think Live's beating them in some regards. This was a Games with Gold just to have a hockey game. These are Games with Gold. I think all of those. Don't know anything. Portal is a popular, well-known game, but I don't know it that well, so I have it to try out. demo for soccer. Project Cars is very disappointing. This was back when I was in the sim racing, so I was really looking forward to like basically a PC port coming to console, but the graphics were awful, and the original Xbox couldn't even run it in like a decent resolution, which made it worse. And the feedback for the wheel was all over the place. So I played it for like a few hours, literally just on one like track test driving, just to try and get the force feedback right, and I quit playing it. And then like months later I went back and they fixed the force feedback, but I lost interest in it. That's a demo. I know 2 is much better, so I might go through it someday and see if it's worth downloading the game. Don't know anything about Project Spark. I downloaded this because on PlayStation I played a lot of H1Z1, and I thought that this is probably the more popular variant, or one of the more popular variants of Battle Royale. I got it when it was on sale, but I don't have people I know as friends on Xbox, just on PlayStation, so I haven't. It's kind of a game you want to have, unless you play solos, you kind of want to have people that you actually want to talk to and don't want screaming in your ear if you're some matchmake with some random person on the internet. Now this is a backwards compatible game that I had on disc, so I put it on here, but I haven't played it. Rayman Legends, just tried it. You can tell I'm about to pass out here. I'm doing it for the 10 cents in revenue I'm gonna make. Red Dead Redemption had the PS3 version with the Undead Nightmare. Beat it. It was a great game, and it's one of the few 360 games that, since it's like the premiere, like this and Black Ops 2 were like the most requested backwards compatible games when the feature rolled out. This game, unlike Black Ops 2, this game is remastered for 4K and enhanced, so it almost does look like an actual remaster, but they just went in and tweaked it, but it looks really good. I bought Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PS4 Pro. Then I got the One X, so then I decided, well, I want the full 4K because it ran slightly better. So I sold it and got it for here, but I've only played the first level. I've actually revisited Red Dead Redemption, and when I want to play it, I'd go back to that one. I didn't like the pick up your hat, get your gun off the horse. It just took simulation too far. So even though the graphics are great, and I don't play Red Dead or Grand Theft Auto for the online, so I'll get to it one day. I remember the Red Faction for the PS2 was fun, so I don't know anything about the series, but says Red Faction, so I have it. Rocket League GameStop, when I still went to GameStop a couple years ago, it was a free when you bought 3 months of gold. I knew it was popular, but when I played it, it's actually really fun and addicting. Graphics are good, but it's really hard to play. Anyone could play it. It's one of those games that's easy to play or easy to learn, hard to master. So this one you can spend a lot of time in. It's one of the core games if you have just getting the console or don't have that much money. This is definitely one that you get your money's worth with. Now, I've known about Rocksmith for years. I was always into the Guitar Hero and Rock Band games. They made one Guitar Hero and I think one Rock Band for the current gen consoles, but I know the new Guitar Hero is very unorthodox. It's much harder to play, which might be a challenge, but I don't really have any interest in it, nor the Rock Band game. So this is, you hook up a real guitar, which I have a few, and I'm not very good, but I thought it'd be neat to try and learn. It's definitely different than using tabs or watching video. But I've one of the many games that I hooked it up, tuned my guitar with it, and haven't played it since. I tried to play a Boston song on it, and it was, I think it starts out on the highest difficulty, and if you don't play or you play the wrong notes, it'll drop you down. So it was like, I didn't understand what was coming my way. But I do like how it is like the Rock Band or Guitar Hero strings on the screen with the notes coming down at you. And one thing that's really good is this game has like thousands of songs. You have to buy them as DLC, but it's great for like almost like a tab. If there's a song you want to know, it's probably on here, at least if it's somewhat of a popular song. And then it's nice because you can learn to play it on this game. Rise is definitely a cool looking game. As a launch title, not that good. I figured it'd be worth having. It was a Games with Gold. So just for the graphics and kind of a neat setting, I'm not sure how good it'll be, but it's definitely worth a playthrough just for being free or very cheap if you can get it. Saints Row 3, I think, was a backwards compatible game. I only played the first one. I liked the first Saints Row, and I know by the third they got rid of the line of thinking they had for the first two, so I wasn't as interested. Game I never played. Skyrim I had for the 360. I remember like how much people liked it, and I was really happy when I first got it. And I played a good bit, and then I got stuck, and I never played it. So then when I got this enhanced edition, I played it. I think I got further than I did on the 360 version, and then I got stuck, and then I haven't gone back. 'Cause it's like the ultimate open world game, and I guess if you're really into it, there's people that just have spent so much time on it, and I know there's so much to do on it, but to me it's almost too hard. Like it's fun, and the exploring's fun, but if you can't get leveled up enough, then you just start to get killed by everything, and I don't know how you would, if you can't beat a mission, then you have to like go find something else to do to rank up, and that was a gold game. I remember playing this back on the 360 because I think it was one of the backwards compatible original games, and I really liked it, so it's cool that it's now on the one. I tried that. It was kind of neat for Xbox game. It looked pretty good, so that's cool. Never touched it. I bought this when it was on sale. Not the greatest game, but it was really cool. Just I don't know anything about Star Wars, but it was really cool just how true to the series it was. Like the graphics and the sound effects were really impressive and really well done. A game I never played. Basically the best baseball game on here because RBI is terrible, and the show. Obviously, that's the baseball game I play on the PlayStation when I want to play a baseball game, but this is kind of okay, even though it's not simulation at all. And games with goal I never played. Another demo whenever I feel like getting my wheel out and trying all the different racing game demos to see if there's any more that I would want to buy the full version of. I've played the demo for Thief, and then this was the games with gold I never touched. Titanfall I had for both the 360, and I think I got it pretty early on when I had the Xbox One. It's a really fun game, and I don't think many people play it now, but it was really good. Not too much to it, but it was a really great concept. And you can see I'm just on life support right now. My voice is going. My mind's been going for a long time. Titanfall 2 I just picked up on sale. Just with the original one, the Ultimate Edition was, it was like for a couple dollars, and this did the same thing of Titanfall 2, where I got the whole game and the DLC, like $7, or not even, I think it was like $5. So this one has a story mode. It's actually pretty good, and like Destiny, the graphics are really good, and the controls are perfect. It's just kind of a different type of game, but I do like it, so hopefully it'll have some more life. I think they're done with this game, or the series. I'm not sure if, no, not Anthem, I believe Apex Legends, I think is from this developer or team. So it seems like that they're going to go do that now, so maybe there won't be any more Titanfalls. So hopefully that gives this game some extended life. I like the old Tom Clancy games, but I haven't played this. That was a disc copy that I put over here. No, the games with gold. The games with gold, I didn't like this one. It didn't feel like Tomb Raider to me. This was my first Tomb Raider on the 360, and I will go ahead and say it because I'm out of my mind at this point, and if the two people that are still watching this video, I remember when I was a young chump, and there was you could make her wear the gown in her mansion, and you could like crouch and move the camera around, and that was just the time of my life there, before I had internet, we'll say. This was a game I played a little bit. It has great physics. That's what the highlight of this game is, but I had not much replay value. Never played it, never will, I'm sure. Watch Dogs was out on the console, the Xbox One, before any of the Grand Theft Auto games were brought to the Xbox One, and it was kind of similar but a different world. I bought it, thought there was a lot of hype, and then I didn't really like it that much, so I haven't touched it. This was the games with gold, and I know The Witcher's a popular game, so I downloaded it. And as I come down the home stretch, the game that is probably the biggest indictment that I haven't played is The Witcher 3. I know it has great graphics even when it was first out, and then 4K. I think I know it's enhanced for the Xbox One X, and I know it just has hundreds of hours of gameplay. There's so much you can do. It was a well-made game, looks great, and I know people are it's highly rated. It's still popular, so I really should play it. It's just that problem when you have this many games, which one do you invest time into? But this is really one I'm doing a disservice to myself by not trying it. This is a demo. WWE 2K, I had 15. The only reason I sold it was the worst WWE game I've ever had. 16 isn't much better, but it was a Games with Gold. And then this was a Games with Gold, but I'm not into Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. So as I struggle to get a few more breaths out, that was my long-winded, huge Xbox One X collection. The X, I'm very happy that I have it now. So all the games that are enhanced get the best, and all of your older Xbox games and 360 games and some Xbox original games all play on it. And hopefully when the next Xbox comes out, all of this can just be put on my hard drive external and plugged right in and be completely backwards compatible with the new console. That would be great. Then I would have this huge collection to start off, and I wouldn't have to start all over again. Because I remember when I first got the X, or the Xbox One, I had maybe 10 games, and like 4 or 5 were actual AAA games, and the rest were just the third-party Games with Gold, almost arcade games. That was all they had, and now I have this huge amount, so very happy with it. And I've recently got the Game Pass. Not too many of those games interest me, but they are available for the few that I would probably want to give a playthrough. So if you stuck around, thank you, and hopefully you enjoyed this for someone that wants to just hear about video games and see what I have and the experiences I have with the ones that I've played. So this is my collection, and I have some accessories and then my TV stand here with all my games on it. So maybe I can do a future video if people are interested in any of that, which would be more exciting than just showing the on-screen titles here. So thanks for watching, and you'll see me in the next one. Have a good one.